Hi guys, in this video I will show you exactly how I made 342,000 euros in 45 days with only one online course. My name is Marko Pervi, I come from Finland and I'm currently living here in Spain, and I have made over 5 million in sales online. I have more than 2,500 customers, and I will now show you on my own computer how I made over 342,000 with only one online course. So let's go to my computer. I will show you all the details over there. Alright, so let's get into the details. I have prepared this simple Gamma app document. No flashy, fancy edits, nothing fancy. Just a simple guide that you can follow filled with information. I hope you like it, so let's go right to the details. So how I made 342,632 euros with only one online course in 45 days. So this is a step-by-step guide. And my approach might not be the perfect one, might not be the best one, might not be optimal, but it works for me. And it has been working many times. I have launched dozens of online courses over the years. So this is just one example of the courses that I have launched. And in this course I used webinars, Google Doc, Facebook and Google Ads, and email marketing. No sales team, no sales calls, nothing. Just me and my documents and so on. So my name is Marko Pervi. I come from Finland and I currently live here in Spain. I have made over 5 million euros online in sales, and I have plus 2,500 coaching and consulting customers. And in this video I will share the exact formula that works for both beginners and experienced marketers. My approach is very agile. I come from software background. I used to be a software developer, and we used agile approach in projects. So that's why I tend to make everything agile. Now I will show you how I was able to scale quickly from both warm leads from email list and to cold contacts with Facebook and YouTube advertising. So let's go to the first real important thing first. So there's a reason why online learning is growing like crazy and why online coaches and consultants are making big money. There's a reason for that. So the online learning market is currently valued at 350 billion globally, and it is projected to reach $1 trillion in just a few years by 28. It is growing at staggering 20% annual rate. So it is an excellent market, fast growing market, where we have a lot of people buying and wanting to buy online coaching programs and online courses. So this explosive growth is not accidental. It basically represents the fundamental shift in how people acquire knowledge nowadays and the skills that they need. So we are shifting from traditional schools to online learning, online coaching. So it is obvious that online coaching and consulting is a good business where you too can make big money. Now, why digital products such as online courses and coaching programs are good for you? Let's go through a few reasons. So first of all, it is easy to start with what you have. I began with nothing but an email and simple weekly webinars. I'll go through the details in a minute. You don't need any fancy cameras, no lighting or complicated software. I have made over 5 million in sales and I still don't have any lighting. All I have is the outdoor lighting coming from my window. I have this Logitech pretty simple web camera and I have a pretty good microphone here. So that's all. If you know something valuable, you know how to solve a problem in some area where others want to learn that as well. So then you can start today. If you know how to solve a problem, then you can build your own online course or coaching program. And when it comes to profit in online learning and online coaching business, 90% of my sales was actual profit I kept from this one particular case. And there's a reason for that. So I'll come to that later. So it is almost all profit. There's no products to manufacture. Nothing needs to be stored or shipped. It's basically all the information coming from your head, enhanced with AI, and that's it. So once you create it, selling it to 10 people or 1,000 people costs basically the same. Now, let's move on. I have taught hundreds of students at once, giving everyone the same experience. And I can do that again and again and again. So instead of teaching one by one, like one-on-one coaching, I can teach hundreds people at the same time. So your income is not limited by your available time. This is a product that you can multiply. You can sell it again and again and again. There's much less stress and much more freedom in this world, in this online coaching world, than in many other traditional industries. You set clear boundaries on when and how you will provide support. You create content once and use it many times over and over again. And you also maintain a balanced lifestyle during these launches. For example, in my case, I run a lot. So in this particular case, I ran a lot and I spent time with my family. So it's not going to be like a crazy stress like in many traditional industries. And when you make sales, people come to you as a student. They naturally want more from you. People who buy your course often want deeper help later. So it means you will have repeat customers, people who buy from you many times in their lifetime. That's a real good business. So, and this stuff works basically in almost any field. Whether you know marketing, cooking, fitness, business or crafts, it works in all these fields. There are thousands of topics and problems where people need help and where you can provide help. All right, so let's go to the big picture. Before we dive into the details, I want to show you the big picture so that you understand what I did. So I have a content first approach, which means that unlike traditional launches that require months of preparation, I built this course in public, which means that I created content week by week based on actual student needs and questions. So the other way to say this is that I started with no product at all. So I sold my product before I had any product. All I had was a sales page or offer and emails. And then I built the product, the course, week by week during the course. So there's a 3-pillar system in my case. I have weekly webinars, sales by email and Google Doc, and lead generation from my existing email list and paid advertising. So once again, so I have 3 main components in my approach. I sell with my weekly webinars. These are live webinars, not recorded. Once a week, I run a webinar. And I sell with email and Google Doc. My offer is written in a Google Doc. No sales page, nothing. And leads come from my existing email list. I send invitations to my webinar to my email list, and some people come to my webinar, not all, of course, and then I get more leads from paid advertising, Facebook ads and YouTube ads. So these are the three main components. What makes my approach powerful is that there are no complex funnels or technology, nothing complex. This is very simple setup. There's no need to figure out all these integrations and all these complex technical things, weeks and even months. There's no high pressure tactics or phone calls or phone sales. I don't like phone sales. I don't want to call anyone. I hate selling over the phone, but I like selling over email. And I don't like high pressure tactics at all. I think high pressure tactics are more American thing. Here in Europe, people really don't like high pressure tactics at all. So there's no complex funnels, no complex technology, no high pressure tactics, no sales calls, no massive team. I don't have anyone in payroll. There's no infrastructure investments. All I need is just a few online tools like email marketing tool and webinar tool and so on, and these are pretty cheap in the end of the day. So let's go through these components one by one. First of all, why a webinar based selling is effective. This is important. So it all comes down to webinars. That's where I sell. That is exactly the sales machine. So if you run webinars, that's great. If you haven't run webinars, you need to start running webinars. And I mean sales webinars. So the webinar is effective because, first of all, it builds trust and credibility. It builds trust and credibility. So webinars are uniquely positioned to build deep, rapid trust with potential students in ways that static sales pages or short form content cannot match. Unlike a written sales page or VSL, a live webinar allows potential customers to directly experience your expertise in real time. Observe your communication skills and teaching style. Access your knowledge through live questions and answers interactions. And feel a personal connection that transcends traditional marketing materials. So webinar is much more than just a show or some kind of presentation. It's a lot more. It goes down to the psychological level, and it builds trust and credibility, and it builds a connection between you and a potential client. The live interactive nature creates an intimate learning environment where participants can see your authentic self, your passion, and your ability to solve their specific problems. This personal connection dramatically reduces the perceived risk of purchasing an online course, and attendees feel they know you well after spending 60 to 90 minutes learning from you. This is super important. This is the number one reason why webinars are effective. So the second reason why webinars are effective is that it demonstrates actual value. Webinars provide an unprecedented opportunity to give potential students a tangible preview of the learning experience and value they will receive by delivering genuine, actionable content during the presentation, solving a specific problem or addressing a critical pain point, showing a preview of your teaching methodology, and providing immediate transformative insights. So you're essentially offering a sample of your course potential. And this approach goes far beyond traditional marketing by providing your expertise through actual teaching, not just promises. Attendees experience a mini transformation during the webinar, which creates a powerful psychological trigger. If they gained this much in 60 minutes, imagine what a full course could do. So the demonstration of actual value is the second important thing why webinars work so well. And then the third one is the psychological conversion sequence. The most effective webinars follow a carefully designed psychological journey. They build trust and credibility. They demonstrate massive value. They reveal a clear path to solving their problems. And they present your course as the most logical step after the webinar. By understanding and implementing all these three core reasons why webinars are effective, you can transform your online course or coaching program from a passive sales process to an active, engaging conversion machine. So I wanted to start with the webinar because it's super important. It is the sales machine behind all this. And if I should say in one sentence the value of sales webinars, it is that it builds connection between two human beings, you and the potential client. It builds a connection, and once you have connection, people are much more ready to buy from you. All right, so now that we know that webinars are the number one sales machine, so let's go to the next issue. How do you get people to your webinars? What is your traffic strategy? In my case, it is pretty simple. So first of all, let's go through my sales conversion performance so that we understand what this traffic strategy actually gives me. So I have an existing email list. I have contacts from years behind. So I have built my existing email list over the years. And from my own email list, in this particular case, this online course, my sales conversion rate was 4.6%. So almost 5 people out of 100 emails purchased a high ticket product. So it's a pretty high sales conversion. So my own existing email list provides me high quality, engaged audience. This is my most profitable traffic source, and it's going to be your most profitable traffic source as well. Now, the other traffic source that I have is paid advertising, and this is actually cold traffic. So I show my ads to completely cold audience with Facebook ads and YouTube ads, and this strategy gives me 1.2% conversion rate. So when people see my ad, they click it, they come to my webinar registration page, and they join my webinar, they get my emails, and then they decide to buy, and out of 100, about 1% buys. So it is pretty typical, nothing staggering, nothing really special, pretty normal sales conversion from cold traffic. Now the ROAS, return on ad spend, in this case was 2.8%. Nothing huge, but it's pretty good. So I put $1 in and I get $2.8 back. So this is all I did. So existing email list and paid advertising. Now, as you can see, my email list is the most valuable asset for me, and it's going to be also the most valuable asset for you as well. So build and nurture your email list every single day starting now. There are strategies to build email lists. We're not going to go through that right now, but basically you need to make sure that you are building an email list and building your own audience every single day. Now, about my paid advertising strategy, I used Facebook and YouTube ads. I ran ads from where people come to my webinar sign up. So direct traffic from ads to webinar sign up. And there's a pretty broad targeting. So I let the advertising algorithm to find conversions. I typically have very broad targeting. I give value in the webinar to these cold leads. Remember, these are totally cold audience. They come to my webinar and I provide them value, and then I give them more value in follow-up emails. And finally, I sell them with email and Google Doc. My offer is written in Google Doc. We're coming to that part in a minute. So basically, start with your existing contacts and reinvest the money that you make into finding more leads with paid advertising. Now, what can you do if you don't have any contacts yet? If you don't have any email list yet, you can start straight with ads. You can start directly advertising and driving traffic to your webinar page and then doing all the same that I did. But if you don't feel comfortable spending 500 euros to 1,000 euros per customer, which is the customer acquisition cost in my case, then start building an audience of 1,000 leads by giving them free content. For example, ebook or mini course or something like that. Nurture them and then start selling your high ticket product. Another approach, and it's actually better approach, is to build a low ticket funnel to collect paying customers as leads. We're not going to go through that in this video. We're going to do it in another video. But basically, if you don't have any leads yet, you don't have any email list, start building an email list with a low ticket funnel, which is good solution. And then another solution, not as good as low ticket funnel, is to provide free content and build your audience by that. Now, let's go to the product development. So in this case, I started selling a product that didn't even exist yet. I didn't have any product yet, so I started selling first. So, and there's a reason for that. And I use Google Docs in the sales process. So what I did is that I created a comprehensive offer in Google Doc. I didn't have any sales page, nothing at all. No website, nothing. Just a Google Doc. And I wrote my offer in Google Doc. And I linked that document in my sales emails. And I provided clear value proposition. And the idea here is to sell first and build after. Because if it happens that nobody buys your product, in this approach, you're not wasting time. If you build your product first, you spend, let's say, 1 month building the product, and then you have everything ready, and you start selling. Nobody buys. You just lost 1 month, just like that. If you pre-sell before building the product, and you find out nobody buys, then you can move on to the next idea. You're not wasting that 1 month for building something that nobody buys. So once people start buying and the course actually starts, the launch day comes, then I start building the product. So I basically shot the course videos, the coaching videos every week, like just a few days before releasing them. There's zero upfront content investment, and it's easy to adapt instantly to market needs. If I understand or if I learn that people actually need this and this kind of information, I can quickly shoot those videos and provide exactly what they need. So the benefit of this building on the fly approach is that there's maximum relevance, minimal waste. And this is all based on kind of lean startup approach or lean startup thinking. So there's a faster time to market, lower initial investment, continuous improvement, and high student satisfaction. So basically success in this case comes from speed and adaptability. Now these are difficult words for myself. I come from Finland, so this is not my first language. Anyways, let's go. Next we come to email marketing, which is absolutely crazy important. So the webinars are the weapon to build connection with you and the audience and to build trust. Now the email is where you actually sell. Email is the sales machine. Now, why email trumps everything else? First of all, there's a direct connection. Your email speaks directly to interested customers. There are no algorithms, no gatekeepers. It's 100% your own audience, your message. And it's a conversion powerhouse. Basically, highest ROI of any marketing channel comes from email. Email is based on many studies, email provides the highest ROI out of any marketing channel. It converts 4 to 5 times better than social media, and it builds long-term customer relationships. So my simple strategy is that I provide value, I build trust, I make offers, and I repeat that. That's all. I write emails every single day. I provide value in most emails, I build trust, and I make offers every now and then. And I just keep on repeating this cycle year after year after year. So the key advantage here is that the webinar brings in people and emails close to sale. Email is not just a marketing channel. It is your most potent sales weapon. Now, there are some challenges in all approaches, in all strategies. And of course, I had some challenges too. Now, first of all, these are the biggest roadblocks most people encounter. So we go through the most typical roadblocks. First of all, technical nightmare is many times kind of big roadblock for many people. People have constant webinar platform issues, audio video synchronization problems, internet connection failures, last minute tech scrambles, and so on. Another roadblock is content creation pressure. Creating content on the fly feels stressful for some people. Constant need to stay ahead, balancing quality with speed, and managing spontaneous content creation. Now, my advice is just to accept that not every session is perfect, and sometimes you fail, just move on, and so on. Third is that participant engagement struggles is also kind of roadblock to many. So there can be low interaction during webinars, difficulty maintaining audience attention, and handling diverse audience skill levels. Fourth one is the imposter syndrome that people battle with. There's constant self-doubt, fear of not delivering enough value, and comparing to other course creators. Marketing and sales challenges, converting webinar attendees to customers, managing expectations, and pricing strategy confusion. These are the typical roadblocks people have. I didn't really have these roadblocks. I've been doing this for many years, and I mean, I've become pretty good at all these things. I don't feel these are, of course, sometimes I can have technical issues, sometimes I can have difficulties maintaining audience attention and so on, but these are not real roadblocks for me. Now, my biggest headache in this case, in this particular case study, was that I was talking to wrong audience many times. Facebook and Google tend to show my ads to unemployed people when I offer a free webinar. And it's going to do the same for you if you are offering a free webinar. Anything that you offer for free typically gets the attention of unemployed people or other people who are not really your best customers. Nothing against unemployed people, but the thing is that when you do business, unemployed people don't have money to buy from you, and they're not going to be your customers, especially when you are selling a high ticket service or product. So that's why one thing that I'm not doing anymore is providing free content or any free stuff in exchange for email address. So the solution for this, as I already mentioned earlier, is a low ticket funnel. So earlier in the past, I used to provide all kinds of free stuff when I collected leads. And I've had more than 50,000 people in my email list over the years. Most people are not my best audience at all, because I provided free content. Now, the much better solution is low ticket funnel. And when you run a low ticket funnel, you are actually starting to get paying customers to your email list. And now when you send email, you are sending emails to customers who have actually bought something from you. And it provides totally different results compared to email list that is pretty much full of freebie seekers. All right. Now remember this: not everything works for the first time. Not everything works for the first time. You're going to feel like you fail with something in the first time. Expect failures. It's typical that we make mistakes, that we fail every now and then, but those are great learning experiences. Don't quit if you feel that you failed. Learn and adapt quickly. This is all a long, lifelong learning process. Basically, entrepreneurship and doing business is a lifelong learning process. It's about learning until you die. So learn and adapt quickly. Your first course will not be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to bring you millions, most likely. It can bring you thousands or tens of thousands, and maybe even hundreds of thousands. It's not going to bring you millions, most likely. Now, your first each mistake is a learning opportunity. So every time you make a mistake, learn from it and move on. Now, my best advice for you is that the biggest mistake you can make is that you never start. I've seen so many people over the years that only talk and talk and talk, but never start nothing. I have a friend who wants to start Airbnb business. He wants to rent his house to Airbnb customers, and he has been talking about that for the past 7 years. And all it requires is just to make the advertisement or the how do you call that, the Airbnb page, and that's it. but he's been talking about it for 7 years. Don't be like him. Just start now and expect mistakes and learn from those. Now, here comes your 8-step roadmap to online course success. It starts from defining your offer. Pick one specific problem you can solve. Keep it simple and laser focused. Create a clear, compelling value proposition and use Google Doc to outline your offer. You don't need websites, you don't need sales pages, no need for VSLs in the beginning. You can start completely with a Google Doc. Then set up your webinar. Once you know what you're selling, set up a webinar. Choose a consistent weekly time when you run the webinar. Develop content that solves a real problem. It gives value to the webinar attendees. Provide about 80% value, 20% sales pitch, or maybe 90% value and 10% sales. Create engaging, actionable presentation. And then you drive traffic. Now you have the webinar page ready. You drive traffic. If you have an email list, send emails and ask people to join your webinar. Run targeted Facebook ads, Google ads, and use compelling headlines and promises. Next, you run the webinar, you deliver value in that webinar, you solve a tangible problem, you show expertise, and by that you build trust and connection, and you create a desire for deeper learning. You build a desire to buy your product. Next comes your follow-up emails. So after the webinar, you follow up with emails. You send a replay link right away after the webinar. What I typically do is that right after the webinar, I send a replay link and the sales message. That's it. And then after that, I send follow-up emails every single day until the deadline. And in the deadline day, I send 2 emails, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And in these emails, you provide additional value, you give more. And you also include your course offer. You also want to sell in these emails. And basically, you create urgency without high pressure tactics. Then you run the course. Once you have sold your course and people have joined it and the launch day comes, you just run the course and you create content week by week. So for example, every Monday the new week starts and the new content opens. So you have a dripping system, like a weekly drip. So every Monday new content opens, and during that week you shoot the videos for the next week content. You stay flexible and responsive, and you adapt to student needs. Whenever they signal that they need this and this information, you can do that and you can provide exactly what they need, because you just learned that they need that information. And you focus on student transformation. So try to provide such information that actually creates a transformation among the students, so they actually get real value from your course. And what I like to remind you is that document your journey, track everything, write down notes, what works and what doesn't work, and ask for feedback, because this is valuable information for you to look back, learn from it, and do everything better in your next project. Then you just repeat and scale. You do the same again. You refine the process every time you launch a new project, and you improve your offer, expand your reach with advertising and maybe some other methods, and you build your online education business. And the thing is that the longer you do this systematically, the better you get, the bigger your business grows. Now the pro tip here is that done is better than perfect. Don't try to do things perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's even difficult to measure when one is perfect, when something is perfect. Now, done is better than perfect. So start now and improve as you go. Now, anything else? You know the drill. Just hit the like button and subscribe. Comment below whatever you think about my approach and this information.